dad was my best friend's father, and he used these things called a game. See, games are the best teaching tools. See, when I'm playing this game, this is how the rich taught their kids battle strategies called chess. My rich dad taught me to be a rich man playing Monopoly. We played Monopoly hour after hour after hour. You know, the formula for great wealth of Monopoly is 4 green houses, 1 red hotel. So today in Arizona, I own 8,000 greenhouses and several red hotels. I just play Monopoly for real. So that's the power of a game, because a game engages me mentally, physically, because I actually have to move things, emotionally, because when somebody knocks me out, I better wake up. You know, I made a mistake. Well, the reason the rich don't work for money is number one, expense is tax. See, there's 3 kinds of income: earned, portfolio, passive. So earned income is if I get a job, that's earned income. If I'm a doctor or a programmer, that's earned income because I'm working for it. If I buy, let's say, Apple for $10 and I set up a 20, that's portfolio income, capital gains. Yeah. But passive income, which is cash flow, is never taxed.
Rule number 3, you can't get rich slow. When I owned 100 houses.
And so these guys are screaming right now in America, tax the rich. I said, good luck. Because most of the guys complaining, they don't know there's 3 kinds of income. And the rich don't have jobs anyway. They have assets. And so the average schmo out there, poor guy, you know, sent the kid to school. They don't learn this. The tax laws are for everybody to use if you have the right financial education. And the reason I'm an advocate of financial education, without that education, you have to pay taxes. You see, very few people will buy what I do, make $1 million and pay 0 tax. McDonald's is in the real estate business. So they sell hamburgers, but they buy real estate, so they pay no taxes. When I came back from Vietnam in '73, my poor dad said, get your MBA. And my rich dad laughed. You turn out to be an employee. Who else hires guys with MBAs? You know what I mean? He was just pragmatic about it. He says, if you really want to be rich, take a class on real estate. I said, why is that? He says, once you understand real estate, it's based on debt. And he says, you will learn how to use debt as money, because that's what happened in '71. The US dollar became debt. So once you learn how to use debt as money, you can never say, I can't afford it. After the crash of 2008, the banks gave me $300 million tax-free to buy real estate that the idiots had lost. And they were idiots because the prices were so high. Why would you buy it at the top of a market? Don't you know that's going to crash? Oh, no. This is, that was the subprime, was the derivatives market, the MBSs and all that stuff. Had driven the price of real estate so high, and the rest of us were just waiting. And then when the whole thing came crashing down, all this real estate was now available. And they needed, the Fed and those guys in the Treasury needed guys like us to go in there. So Wall Street gave us hundreds of millions of dollars to mop up all that real estate these guys had lost. Now, it's fair because everybody could do it. When I asked the average guy, why don't you use debt? They can't even get a loan because their scores are so bad. So that's what's going on in the world today. They think the rich are crooks. The rich just play by different laws. So now we have the stock market, this one area of the economy, all-time highs, floating on fake money. Real estate, I mean, I don't know how people can afford to live in New York. I was looking at a condo for $55 million. Real estate in Silicon Valley, you can't afford to live there. And then all of these companies started borrowing money, so the economy's good, and unemployment's low and all this. They say there's no inflation, but have you seen the price of food, real estate, and student loans and medical? It's a bubble, So now what's going to happen is the baby boomers, my generation, are going to start to retire. There's no money there. Social Security is broke. Pensions are broke. The students are broke. They're screwing everybody with debt. This is called, not economics, this is called bubblenomics. But they'll never teach you this in school.
Why do they keep printing money? Because they want to save something.
Because it's an addiction. The moment you take that one hit, it's like, okay, I'll quit next week. and the economy gets worse. So they can go. Trump gave us a tax cut in America. This thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So what happened in 2008, they stopped it by printing money. They call it the Great Recession. But they didn't really fix anything. Derivatives went from 700 trillion to 1.2 trillion today, twice as much. And that is net. This doesn't tell the whole story. So when the recession hit, the PhD standard came in. That was Bernanke, and then Yellen. The PhDs, they have PhDs. Well, it's no different than long-term capital, LTCM. They had Nobel Prize winners, people like my poor dad, academics, This is what's going on in the world economy today. So the baby boomers are going to retire now. Student loans are bust. So do you have to be an economist to say what's going to happen? We're fighting a 12-year war now. Entitlements are going through the roof. Debt in America, 109%, 90% is too late.
What's going on, family? What's going on, tribe? Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. Just want to go ahead and make sure we're recording everywhere. Live on Zoom. Shout out to the Zoom fam. We're also live on YouTube right now. So if you have friends and family that are interested, please make sure they click on the YouTube channel just to tap in. And if you are tapping in on YouTube, I want to say thank you so much. If this is your first time connecting to us, make sure you press that subscribe button. All right, turn on the notification bell. Literally is right next to the subscribe button, and that notification bell to make sure that you stay updated in every single way. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. I want to say thank you. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, tribe. It is a beautiful morning to learn about crypto. I'm actually going to go today to the Small Business Expo in Atlanta right after this call and connect with some of the fintech companies and some of the other companies out there to see what they're doing in Web3, to just figure out how we can come and just add value. I feel like at this moment, the people who have this information can add the most value because this space is not going anywhere. You can pay attention to the FTX scandal all you want, but I want to tell you something. When in 2001, when the Enron scandal happened, that didn't stop the stock market from being where it is today. And I'm telling you right now, just because there's a scandal happening with FTX, that does not mean it's going to stop the crypto market from getting to where it needs to get. So with that being said, drop those coffee emojis in the chat box. This is episode number 60. Y'all, we are 60 episodes in. We're literally almost to 100 episodes. And I want to say thank you guys for consistently tuning in. I know that this is an early morning show. It's 10 a.m. Most people at work, but I don't care about that. That's why I do it at 10 a.m. The people that really want this information, they'll show up. And guess what? If you miss it and you really value this content, go back and watch it on the YouTube. You should not have to be reminded that this information is out here, man. Like this is something, if you want to change, look, if you want to change your situation, you need the right information. You have to have the right information to change a situation. And we're going to give it to you each and every single week, 2 times a week on Coffee and Crypto. And we'll have more shows coming as we connect with more and more people. I want to say good morning to everybody. And let's go ahead and dive into crypto. There's a lot of content to cover today. I have a 9-minute video from Sam Bankman-Fried that I want to show you all in regards to FTX. This is really good. I would recommend that you stick around and listen to this. I recommend that you send this link to someone because there are people out there that are afraid to invest in crypto right now. The numbers of multiple shows on YouTube are historically going down because people just don't really know what's going on. And instead of focusing on it, they will say, you know what, I'm gonna put this aside until things get a little better. And I'm gonna go back and do the things that I'm comfortable with doing. All right. Even though things are happening in this space, guys, I'm not putting this aside. I've turned real estate into my full-time job. Real estate wholesaling is my full-time job. I found myself a job. I've employed myself. So now I am in real estate. Okay. I'm doing that so I can make more money to do what? To reinvest into crypto, to reinvest into stocks, to reinvest back into real estate. You got to go and figure out what's going to help you guys. You cannot put this aside. I'm not putting this aside. And no matter how much, all right, I am let down by this market right now, I understand that troubles don't last always. So let's take a look at CoinMarketCap. We're 21,903 coins. All right. Right now we have about a $856 billion market cap. We're still well under the $1 trillion market cap and about the almost $3 trillion all-time high crypto market cap. Okay, so we are really down in the market, meaning this is perfect time to think about starting to create a dollar cost averaging plan. I'm not here to tell you guys here on the show, I'm not here to tell you what to invest into. I'm not here to tell you how to do it. All right, if you want that help, you have to hire me. Okay, that I'm not here to do that. What I'm here to tell you is what I'm doing and the research that's helping me go all in. I have a goal of over 10,000 XRP. All right, we are very, very close to smashing through that goal. All right, very, very close to smashing through that goal. That is my personal goal, okay, on XRP. And once we hit there, I understand that your goal changes, right? Your goal will change. So understanding that goal of 10,000 plus XRP, all right, boom, we hit that, it will change. It will go to the next level, right? Your goals will always, success is a moving target, right? Success is a moving target. You got to have a target in order to get what you want. So Bitcoin is up 3% over the last 7 days, right? Over the last week, up to 17,000. We saw Bitcoin literally after the FTX, this FTX scandal and information came out. We saw it crash to the lowest since I believe 2020. I believe since like 2020. That like 2020, 2021, we like, I believe it was 2020. Okay, you've seen Ethereum down to $1,200, up 7% over the last week. All right, XRP, our favorite crypto, okay, 39 cents today. All right, at least my favorite crypto, it's 39 cents today. All right, up 2% over the last 7 days. All right, with Cardano coming in at number 9 and Polygon still sitting at the number 10 position. And you can see Dogecoin still up, rallying 26%. I don't know what got Dogecoin going this crazy, but it's definitely still up, still doing its thing, and it's still holding at the number 8 position. So that is the wonderful world of crypto. Now let's continue to dive through this. Now I have this video I want to show you all. All right, it's this right here says ICE9 banking system freeze confirmed. This is from Clive Thompson, retired wealth manager in Switzerland. I do believe that this might be an older video, I believe, but it may be a newer one as well. I know I've seen this gentleman before, but I don't 100% follow him. But what he was talking about was very interesting, and we have to be prepared because these are the things that can come and are going to come here in the United States if you live here. So listen to the wealth manager in Switzerland.
I think it's quite likely that the CBDC will arrive, and it will also be the subject of the currency reset at the same time. At some point, the world is going to go into a crisis, or a country is going to go into a crisis. It might be the UK, it might be Italy, might even be the United States, but something is going to happen. Things are very, very taut in the financial world at the moment. When that happens, I think they will close the banks. You'll wake up on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning and hear the news that they've shut the banks, not going to open on Monday. And then by Monday evening or Tuesday, you'll get the announcement that we're having a new currency, the CBDC, and don't worry, it'll be 1-to-1 against the old currency. But there'll be some restrictions on your ability to convert your old money into the new money. So if you're poor and you have a small bank account, it'll be converted 1-to-1 straight away. And you'll probably even find that you get a free gift from the government to kickstart the system. Maybe £3,000 or £5,000 will be given to every citizen.
So he's talking about a stimulus, right? They're going to give us a digital stimulus attached to the CBDC. Keep listening. They've already prompted us. How many people? Drop a 7 if you ever got a stimulus. You might not even have you ain't signed no paperwork. You didn't do nothing. How many people got a stimulus? How many people? Drop it on YouTube. Drop it on who all got a stimulus. Did you sign up for it? Did you ask for it? How many stimulus did you get? I believe you should have got around 3 stimulus checks. All right. They've already started to stimulate our mind that they're going to start stimulating the poor. And guess what? If you earned too much money, you didn't get a stimulus. Listen.
Gratuitously to kickstart the system in the new CBDC. But if you have 100,000 or 1 million in the bank, you're going to be told, yes, it's 1-to-1, but you're going to have to wait to convert it to the new currency. Now, wait means never. We all know that, but they won't tell you that. They'll say it's a temporary suspension because we're in the middle of a crisis. The people are rioting in the streets. And we need to calm the system. So here's some free money, everybody. Go and enjoy yourselves. And by the way, the rich can't convert their money for a while, but they'll be able to do so later. So if you happen to own Apple bonds, they'll be denominated in the old dollars. You won't be able to, it'll still be old dollars. You won't be able to convert those old dollars until you've got the cash. But when you get the cash, you'll need permission to do it. And you're not going to get that permission. It'll be exactly like we had in Britain back before 1975, when we had the exchange controls. You needed permission from the Bank of England. I mean, I remember when I traveled abroad the first time, I was allowed to take 50 pounds with me abroad. Didn't go very far.
No, and yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So just wanted to kind of give you guys kind of an idea of potentially what's to come. Now, this video right here, I wanted to show this because this show is not just about crypto, but really about world events. We have to stay up to date on certain world events. On Good Morning America, on their Twitter this morning, they talked about the Senate set to vote on a bill, and I don't know if y'all heard about this, imposing labor deal on unions in effort to avert nationwide rail strike. So we've had airplane strikes, we've had strikes for trucks. The last thing we need is train and rail strikes. People can't travel in these cities. It doesn't matter. Like this right here is what will take us into a depression. This right here, when people can't travel in New York, when people can't travel from Jersey to New York, from New York to Philly, when people can't do that to get to work inside of that region of the East Coast, okay, in the Midwest, you will see that this is what will cause the Great Depression. But listen up right here. As
this morning, Congress is scrambling to avoid a catastrophic shutdown of the nation's railroads. Leader Schumer, are you confident that a rail strike will be averted?
We're working hard to get something done and to try to get it done as quickly as possible.
Senators are expected to vote as soon as today, forcing workers to accept a tentative deal to prevent a rail strike. President Biden has called it necessary to prevent a shutdown that could cost the economy up to $2 billion a day, disrupt travel for 7 million passengers, and send inflation even higher during the holiday season.
A rail strike would be devastating to the American economy and put millions of Americans out of work.
Under the Constitution, Congress has the power to step in. But some Republicans are saying not so fast.
I'm not going to vote to impose this on them against their will with the force of law.
While the deal would give rail workers their biggest raise in decades, it only includes one additional day of paid leave, and some unions are calling for more.
It breaks my heart because these are real people. Our members live and work in the communities across this country with the people that they interact with regularly.
In Lincoln, Nebraska, track welder Jacob Forsgren is homesick with the flu. He says if his manager doesn't approve his vacation time, he doesn't get a paycheck.
I have influenza A right now. The scary part about that is, I don't have paid sick leave.
The House passed 2 bills Wednesday, one to avert a strike, the other to add additional paid leave. The president now calling on the Senate to move quickly.
Man, we can finish watching that, but that sentence right there tells me and scares me that it's probably not going to move quickly. He's been advising the Senate to move quickly on this space with crypto, and look what has happened with all of these exchanges and lending platforms out there this year that have collapsed and went bankrupt. Senate does not move fast. All right, now we're getting into some more spicy videos now. I'm just leading us up to this video. I have a 9-minute video to show, all right, from Good Morning America. It literally happened this morning at 8 a.m. So this is hot out of the coffee maker, all right, hot out your teapot, all right. But before we get to that video, I need you all to hear how Sam Bankman-Fried used a loophole in the Citizens United rule to donate 37 million of dark money to Republicans. He says, I donated about the same amount of money to both parties this year. I just didn't close the Republican ones because the media would freak the F out. Listen to him. One second, y'all. All right, here we go.
That is not generally known because despite citizens uniting literally the highest profile Supreme Court case of the decade and the thing everyone talks about when they talk about campaign finance. For some reason, in practice, no one can possibly pass the idea that someone in practice actually dark. So I don't know, all my Republican donations were dark. And the reason was not the regulatory reason. It's because reporters freaked us out if you donate to a Republican, they're all super liberal. And didn't want to have that fight, so I just made all the Republican ones dark. About to get not proposed.
Wow. So it comes out that he did the Democratic donations in the light and the Republicans in the dark. And what's done in the dark comes to light. Let's continue to dive through this. This is John Deaton. All right, setting the record straight. Shout out to the digital asset investor. He's setting this record straight on the Sam Bankman-Fried mess. He said, I've seen this movie before. Many of you may remember Greta Van Susteren was an attorney covering the O.J. Simpson trial and became a media star. Prediction, Dita is about to become the Greta of crypto. Listen up.
Sam Bankman-Fried is going to start yucking it up pretty soon today with at the New York Times Deal Book event. This great founder of FTX Exchange has already made a lot of waves and headlines as he is now a regular chatterbox. Now, sadly, the more he talks, the more people just simply want to throw up. Joining me now, crypto law founder John Deaton. And John, Sam Bankman-Fried, he continues to suck all the oxygen out of the room. He keeps casting this dark shadow over the entire crypto world. So my question is why isn't he doing the perk walk yet? You know, I mean, really, it's just, you think of all these sort of things, and I mean, I just don't recall Bernie Madoff, making rounds like this. And again, from a journalistic point of view, you probably want to interview these folks, but other people are wondering, it's really billions are missing. Why is this guy walking around?
You brought up Bernie Madoff. He was arrested the day after, he confessed.
Right.
Sam Bankman-Fried has confessed in his Twitter feed and everything else. Charles, I don't know, but there's two things you can do it. What I would do is you arrest now. There's enough information under 18 USC 1343. That's the wire fraud statute. There's enough for the fraud statute. He went around looking like crypto savior, pretending to be crypto savior, and he goes to BlockFi and says, I'll give you this loan, but you have to deposit your client money in my FTX account. And then, of course, he steals that money to run his Ponzi hedge fund. So if I were in charge, I'd have had him arrested, introduced him to a 3x5 cell, remind him of what Russ Ulbricht, who did much less with Silk Road, is serving 2 life sentences plus 40 years. I'm hearing more and more about that.
Now, I'm not gonna play that whole video. I just wanted y'all to hear kind of what's going on. These are the interviews that's happening on Fox Business, CNN, Bloomberg. I mean, Good Morning America. And speaking of Good Morning America, let's go ahead and dive into this video right here. All right, this one is hot, straight happened this morning. All right, it is a little bit of a long video, but I want you guys to hear what's going on. I want you to see what's going on and hear from Sam Bankman-Fried himself as to, his apology, how he feels about this, about what happened, and how confused he sounds. It really seems to me like the guy was running a multi-billion-dollar company, and he did not have his hands on this project at all. He really doesn't know anything. I agree with BitBoy Crypto. BitBoy said, I know more about this, about Alameda and FTX than Sam Bankman-Fried does. And he was the CEO. But listen to this interview. It was pretty shocking when I heard it this morning.
A lot of people look at you and see Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's who I am at all, but I understand why they're saying that. People lost money, and people lost a lot of money. And I mean, at the end of the day, look, there's a question of what happened and why, and who did what caused the meltdown. And I think that reads very differently, right? When you look at the classic Bernie Madoff story, there was no real business there. The whole thing, as I understand it, I think was just one big Ponzi scheme, right? FTX, that was a real business.
He was at the top of the cryptocurrency world. 30-year-old billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried.
You just need FTX.
It's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
I don't think so.
Super Bowl ads.
Yep.
Naming stadiums. Steph Curry, Giselle Bundchen.
We did a lot of things to try and bolster our reputation, to try and, help our brand.
But in the early morning hours of November 11th, it all came to an end when FTX filed for bankruptcy and Bankman-Fried stepped down as CEO amid reports of FTX customer funds being used to pay Alameda Research creditors. This confirmed by former Alameda CEO Carolyn Ellison during an early November video meeting with employees. Alameda, the crypto trading firm, also founded by Bankman-Fried. ABC News reached out to Carolyn Ellison for comment, but has not heard back. One of the reasons FTX went bankrupt is because FTX deposits were used to pay Alameda's creditors. Carolyn Ellison said you knew about that. Is that true?
Best I can tell, Alameda did have a big position open on FTX. That position, I think, was very over collateralized a year ago. There is a total market collapse, and specifically a large correlated collapse in its assets over the last month, and to some extent over the last year, that threatened that position quite a bit. And I think that's, as best I understand, a lot of what happened there.
I am no cryptocurrency expert. I'm no finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question. I always ask, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors. Are you, which creditors are you referring to?
Carolyn Ellison said that you all knew that these funds were put into Alameda. They were the funds owned by your depositors.
So I can't speak for who knew what. A lot of the customers on FTX did have, borrows either, in dollars or Bitcoin or euros.
But as you know, the FTX terms of service tell the people who signed up, none of the digital assets in your account are the property of or shall be or may be loaned to FTX trading. But you're saying that happened.
My understanding is a few things happened. The first is there is a margin trading facility on FTX by which users can lend out funds, by which other users borrow funds. And so there are explicit cases where there is, margin extended, where there is borrow lending.
If Alameda is borrowing the money that belongs to FTX depositors, that's a bright red line, isn't it?
There are a lot of cases where that's actually explicitly part of the programs and that are happening.
Not here. Here it says that the digital assets may not be loaned to FTX trading. They can't be loaned out.
There existed a borrow lending facility on FTX. And I think that's probably covered. I don't remember exactly where, but somewhere else in the terms of service.
But they'd have to approve of that. They're saying they didn't approve of it here. They're saying you approved of it.
If you rewind to, the beginning of FTX, where, some customers were, I think in line with sort of existing relationships that they've had, at least in some cases, wiring money straight to Alameda Research in order to trade on FTX.
So you do know, and you did know, that FTX deposits were being funneled to Alameda.
So I was vaguely aware that that was how some wires were being sent in the first place.
Didn't that set off alarm bells in your head?
So there are a lot of people who are involved in that process. And look, I really deeply wish that I had taken like a lot more responsibility for understanding what the details were of what was going on there. I knew that legal was involved. I knew that other groups at the company were involved, that, there were agreements drafted up.
But you're ultimately responsible.
And ultimately, absolutely. I should have been on top of this. And I feel really, really bad and regretful that I wasn't. And a lot of people got hurt. And that's on me.
Here's what Mark Cuban has to say about that.
Yep.
He said, if I were him, I'd be afraid of going to jail for a long time.
At the end of the day, it's not my call what happens, and the world will judge me as it will.
Are you worried about going to jail?
There are a lot of things that are worrying me right now. And as best as possible, I'm trying to focus on what I can do going forward to be helpful, and let whatever regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
I do want to move on, but just finally on this. This is really a yes or no question.
Yep.
Carolyn Ellison says you knew that FTX funds were being funneled to Alameda. Did you?
Dang, his girl. Look, his own girl put him out there. Listen to how she exposed this man.
That
I knew that there is an open margin position there, and that involved.
I know, but that's not what I'm asking. If she's in court and you're in court, and she's under oath and you're under oath, and you're asked, did you know that these funds were being funneled to Alameda? What is your answer?
I did not know that there is any improper use of customer funds.
You also took out a $1 billion loan. What was that for?
That was generally for reinvesting in the company. I was not for, consumption.
Man.
To my knowledge, I have basically nothing left. Basically everything I had was invested in the business. I expect I'm going to have nothing at the end of this. I think I had $100,000 left in my bank account last I checked. And I think I have, one credit card working with that right now.
Earlier this summer, you thought you had what, 32 billion?
Probably 20, but a whole lot more than I do now.
I can't imagine what it feels like to go from $20 billion to $100,000.
Yeah, it's been a really humbling fall in a lot of ways.
How do you?
I can't stand to listen no more personally, y'all. It's a minute left in this. I just can't. We could clearly see, and it was another interview that they asked him, well, how do you feel at actually the New York Times event, which I dropped that entire video inside of our Discord for the New York Times Summit. However, they asked him, they said, what are your lawyers saying about what you should be doing right now? Should you be talking to us? Should you be? And he clearly said that my lawyers want me to be quiet. They don't want me to say anything. So he's not telling everything, obviously, and we can see that. So let's continue to push forward because we have some other news that's happening, right? So this right here is from Charles Gasparino. I could not leave this out. All right. Fox Business has learned a joint venture, a JV between IEX. All right. IEX is the technology that most finance forward home of IEX exchange. Okay. They are a securities exchange. All right. SBF and SBF Sam Bankman-Fried FTX for an SEC approved crypto exchange had significantly progressed inside the commission just prior to the FTX implosion. IEX is still pushing the SEC to approve its model without FTX as a partner. All right. So it seems like FTX not only was fighting for regulation, right? But they were also fighting the good fight to have the first and only securitized exchange for crypto. All right. And this is the article right here that I found from Decrypt, came out April 5th of 2022. It says FTX US makes strategic investment in IEX exchange. So they also invested into this exchange. So now we got to sit back and look and see, well, what happens to this exchange, which is associated to what? The stock market. Now, if we go down, what is IEX exchange? The IEX exchange handles a small portion of the US equities market, accounting for 2 to 3% on an average day. It's a fraction of the trades being executed on the top two, New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. Okay, but the Upstart Exchange was founded in 2012 to mitigate the effects of high frequency trading, and all of the aforementioned high frequency trading firms that have indicated that they're interested in the crypto market. Wow. All right. Wow. So this was happening, all right, in real time. And read this. Look, FTX and IEX said that the strategic partnership would include working together to build a venue for trading digital asset securities. So who deals with securities in the US? The Securities Exchange Commission. Why have they not talked to us about this? Because they had a plan to monopolize this market. But we're exposing them. Now, moving on to other news, Coinbase Wallet. This is not Coinbase, but this is Coinbase Wallet. After careful evaluation, we will be removing support for several networks with low activity on Coinbase Wallet starting in January of 2023, including BCH, ETC, XLM, and XRP. Why are they removing XLM and XRP? The rest of this show, I'm about to show you guys what's happening today in XRP and why this does not make sense for Coinbase to be delisting, to be taking this network off of their wallet. I do not support Coinbase, and I will not support Coinbase. Why? Because they're taking XRP off. Why? Because they do not want us to be able to, now to be able to thrive through this space, not to be able to invest in this space, not to be able to store this asset. Why? Because XRP was not meant for us. Coinbase no longer supports it. This is the article right here. So by December 5th, now it's just their wallet, okay? But you can't buy it on their exchange, and now you can't even hold it on their wallet. So the question, they did say that, they did say in here that it will not affect you. So, I mean, you'll still be able to access your funds. Apparently, you'll still be able to access your funds. It says right here, the release continued by affirming to customers that this does not mean your assets will be lost. They added, any unsupported asset that you hold will still be tied to your addresses and accessible through your Coinbase wallet recovery phrase. So this is what they say for now, but they are stopping this stifle of innovation right in front of our eyes, okay? But I want to show you guys from this moment forward, I have a few more tabs and then we'll be done with this show today. But I want to show you guys exactly what's happening in the XRP world, in the Ripple world today, that still keeps me bullish no matter what's happening. I don't care about Coinbase. I don't care about FTX. I don't care about none of it. I don't care about Tether. I don't care about none of it. Why? I'm not saying I don't care about it. I don't care about it in regards to what's happening with Ripple, what's happening with Stellar, because these companies are still making monumental moves. Listen to this audio right here, family.
Project from start to finish to try to coordinate and launch this newest edition from the Federal Reserve?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's easy to undersell the amount of complexity and effort that has gone on with our project. You know, as you think about the back end of our solution, it plugs into the master accounts at the Federal Reserve System. So settlement would be done instantly, real time, to the master accounts, which also are interacting with all the other existing payment services. And they are the accounts upon which correspondents and other financial institutions rely. So for us to plug in real time alongside those other services and to move to 7-day and to provide the level of information that financial institutions will need to manage their accounts, as well as manage a new service and provide services to their account holders or their members at credit unions, all started to layer on top of each other and create that complexity. You know, some of the folks on the FedNow team like to say, this is one of the biggest projects and most critical projects that we've done in quite some time. It's an all hands on deck thing that we've really put a lot of time and attention to. The deepest analyses I've had in my near 30-year career at the Fed have been included in these projects. And it's very rewarding to see it come close to the finish line. Create that complexity.
He said a few things, okay? He talked about interoperability, right? He talked about how the central banks will be stacked and interconnected with each other. What do we know about XRP? We know for a fact that it is a big supporter of interoperability, right? Then they talk about this FedNow system, which is nothing but a central bank digital currency, CBDC, that will be issued, all right? Talking about the faster payments. They're talking about faster settlement times. We know for a fact that XRP has a use case for fast settlement times. We also know that they're talking about liquidity, on-demand liquidity going live with the Federal Reserve once this agenda. That's why this show is called On the Agenda. The show's called On the Agenda. And you got this gentleman here. I don't know if y'all read the title, but this is Dan Baum. Right, he's the senior vice president, head of payments products for the Fed now at the Federal Reserve Bank of the ATL of Atlanta. This is not a game, it's happening. And if you're not invested into blockchain technology by now, I'm asking you, just like Dan Rousseau, what is you doing, baby? All right. Now, came out November 15th. We talked about it, but we got to go back to it. On-demand liquidity. One of the number one use cases for the Ripple network, all right, for XRP, okay, on-demand liquidity spans worldwide. Check this out. One crypto solution in particular, on-demand liquidity has seen rapid growth this year. We recently announced various new ODL customers and are proud to say ODL payout markets include Africa, Argentina, Belgium, Israel, Australia, Brazil, Singapore, the UAE, the UK, the list goes on. This is something that is highly needed through cross-border payments. All the biggest CEOs, everybody knows about Ripple, but they're not talking about this on the news. Let's continue to push forward. Brazilian Chamber of Deputies. Check this out. I just showed you guys that ODL has went live in where? Brazil. Then this comes out November 29th, a couple days ago. Brazilian Chamber of Deputies approves bill regulating crypto transactions. Brazil is bullish on crypto, and they have a partnership with Ripple Labs. Why? Because they need on-demand liquidity. Let's continue to push forward. Ripple on-demand liquidity joins Amazon's payment service provider. This is the hottest news that's out right now. It literally just dropped last night. Ripple ODL joins Amazon's payment service provider. How big is Amazon? How big is their payment service provider? Let's read into it. This company right here called Enter & Co., the owners of leading Brazilian financial services super app. Again, this is dealing with Brazil. And a client of Ripple's on-demand liquidity service has announced that it has joined Amazon's payment service provider program. The partnerships make Enter one of only 28 providers registered under the Amazon PSP program worldwide. How much money do you guys think are going? It's being transferred, through Amazon Web Services on a day-to-day. How many people buy stuff on Amazon on a day-to-day, guys? So many people. Everybody's buying things on Amazon every single day. And now we're going into the holidays where on-demand liquidity is needed at an all-time. These technologies are being used. This is on Amazon's website, directly on their website. They talk about their partnership with Ripple. RippleNet is a decentralized global network of banks and payment providers using their network is a bank and payment provider using Ripple's distributed financial technology, which provides real-time messaging, clearing, and settlement of financial transactions. This is what's happening. RippleNet use cases, e-invoicing, international supply chain payments, global currency account, real-time cash pooling, international bill pay, real-time remittances, and international P2P payments. RippleNet members, you got Santander Bank, you got this is on Amazon's website. You got Canada, Canadian Bank, you got a bank in India, you got this bank in Brazil, you got this other bank in India, you got this bank in Singapore, another bank in Brazil, another bank in Canada, China, UAE, three banks in the UK, Australia, Sweden, Japan, Thailand, and another bank in Thailand. And it just keeps going on and on. SBI Remit, the largest remittance company in Japan, is a Ripple partner. And you tell me that you're not investing, or you got on the show, you hear what I'm talking about, you still ain't bought this dang on technology? I need y'all to hear this video right here. This is serious stuff, y'all. We're almost done here, but this is I'm heart attack serious about this. We are going to be well off with our investments.
Migrating cross-border payments to ISO 20022. The first one is when you look at a map like this, you see many countries that are migrating their RTGS systems to ISO 20022. And when you talk about global trade, I was exchanging with a few. What we see in mature economies, about 30% of payments that are cleared via an RTGS system, like the one that you're modernizing, actually have a leg that starts cross-border, right? Because that's the way that global trade is facilitated. You serve your corporate customers, they end up wanting to pay their suppliers from other parts of the world, and these needs to reach those banks that actually are banking the suppliers. They do this increasing for the vast majority via RTGS systems, but this is going to change. We saw on the slides about that before, instant payment systems, we see wallet systems. So increasingly, you have to be ready for transaction cross-border to flow through these different ecosystems. But the RTGS systems are migrating. When you do your calculation, all the next generation instant payment systems, they're based on ISO 20022. Even those CBDC experiments, by the way, when they interlink, they use ISO 20022. Our computation says that by 2025, 85% of the value exchange cross-border will have originated from 20022. So there is no choice but upgrade the cross-border. Because if not, how do you ensure that a transaction that originates in rich data can actually make it all the way to the destination country without data truncation? Yes, you can make it happen, but you will have data truncation. And that is one area where for compliance reasons, we cannot afford it.
Everything will be based on ISO 20022. And this is hot right here. India's central bank to start retail CBDC's pilot on what date? Today. I can't make this stuff up. I just showed you guys. Look at this. The Reserve Bank of India. I just showed you all. Let's go back down here. Hold up. There's one. What else? Let me see. Was there only one on here? There might be one. There's one bank. No, two. There's two banks on here, right here. There's two banks. Look at this. I clicked on this link and it took me to this article that came out in 2018. Ripple improves access to India with Kotak Mahindra Bank. This is in 2018. Now, look at this. India's central bank to start their retail CBDC pilot on December 1st. Family, take a look at this. Take a look at this. This is the last thing, and I'm going to drop this mic. Innovation for financial institutions, business, governments, and more is right here. They're one of their top value systems at Ripple is creating a sustainable CBDC, central bank digital currencies. Is right here. India's central bank to start retail CBDC on today. If you have not gotten with this group, if y'all keep playing, if y'all not in the Discord, if you're not getting this information, if you're not setting up one-on-ones with me, if you're not learning how to invest, because in a minute, you're not going to be able to buy XRP. Then you're going to be asking me for some of mine when it goes up to $1,000. I'm going to tell you no. You had the same opportunity as Vincent Owens and anybody else on this call to get invested. Don't be mad when I'm in my yacht on the Fiji Islands, flipping money or tokens or whatever I got to flip off of my boat. Get you some. Mr. Brent's laughing over there. Get you some. Stop playing. Book a one-on-one consultation. Stop playing. Let me help you change your life. If it's one thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to change your life. That is what I'm going to do for me. And if you follow me, I'm changing my life. That means that your life has to also be in the making to be changed. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for getting on the Coffee and Crypto. It's been an absolutely amazing call. Before we go, I do want to ask for anybody that has anything they want to share that they learn to love on this call. And then also, I want to drop this article. It was asked that I drop this article. So I'm going to drop this article for you all inside of the chat right now on Zoom in regards to the Amazon partnership with Ripple. There's the article right there, so y'all can go and actually read it. Okay, there's the article right there, so y'all can actually go and read that article. And also, let me go ahead and text it over to myself too, just to make sure that I send that to the person that wanted to see it directly. Okay, awesome. So with that being said, if there's anybody that has anything that you learn to love, again, today's call was awesome. Thank you so much to the YouTube community. I see you guys. I see the numbers growing. I see you guys staying committed, hopping on here. So I want to say thank y'all for everything, for popping in. And yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and call on my brother, Big Andy. It's on you, brother.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, bro.
I just want to say thank you for all of that information. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Absolutely. Did you I already know you learned something today.
That was a lot with Amazon. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Do you understand what we hold now, Andy? Like it don't even make sense, bro.
It don't.
People are about to miss this, man. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity that we have. And I don't care about how many people on the call. Look, it really don't matter no more. Like it don't even matter no more. What like we know what's up, we know what we hold, and we know where we're headed. And you know, and I'm sticking to that. I'm gonna have to crash and burn off of that statement. I'm crashing and burning on that statement. But I really believe that we hold the greatest asset that has ever been known to man. Outside of prayer. Outside of prayer, I believe XRP outside of prayer is the greatest asset that is known to man.
Thank you again.
And it's live on YouTube. Thank you so much. Well, with that being said, I've dropped my mic for the day. I'm about to get ready to go to the Small Business Expo. If you guys are interested, do you think it's going to crash one more time? Yes. We have not seen Tether crash yet. I do believe Tether might crash. I do believe there's a huge stable coin that's going to crash. I don't know if it's Circle. I don't know if it's Tether, but y'all pay attention. But I believe that something epic is going to happen. Something that's connected to the spot market, to the derivatives market. The only thing that's connected to those all is our stable coins, USDC, USDT, and other stable coins, BUSD. We're going to see a huge stable coin crash. I believe that, and that is what will take us down. Everybody's going to get wiped out. People are going to lose full faith, and then the banks are going to come in and buy it up at the lowest numbers. And not just the banks, but also us. Let's get it. So with that being said, y'all have an amazing rest of the day. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Coffee and Crypto. This was our 60th episode. I think it was absolutely epic. And we're 40 more episodes away from episode 100. I'll see y'all on next week, Tuesday, for episode number 61. Have an amazing day, family.